I invite our first speaker of this session, Mr. Neeraj Gulati. He is MD, Esotech Reality, and is going to speak on pricing trends on Tier 1, 2, and 3 cities. So over to Mr. Neeraj Gulati.
My fellow panelists and ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to all of you. And I thank you. I thank organizers for giving me this opportunity today to speak on this topic, which is actually very dear to all real estate people. So what are the prices going to be? So a little bit about the title of this presentation. I would like to correct here. I think the price, I've been given the to speak on pricing trends, whereas in my opinion this should be price trends. Right? So pricing is actually a verb which means actually it's a process of determining prices. So I'm actually assuming that this is going to be price trend. So I'm going to speak on price. Okay, a bit about the year 2012 and 2013. This is the horizon I have selected, the recent and the immediate future. Year 2012, as you know, has been a little slow in terms of economic development in the country. Inflation, though right now it is pretty controlled, but if you recall in the beginning of 2012, inflation was high and liquidity was not that great in the sector, and the growth was marginal, steady, but at the same time slow. And I would also like to, before proceeding ahead, give you a little bit of horizon of this presentation, that I have limited myself to 3 broad areas, which is residential, and that too in built-up residential, because I assume that talking about plotted development is outside the scope of this presentation. So I have limited myself to built-up residential properties, that too in growth areas and new areas, and not in city like old Delhi. Old Delhi means the developed Delhi or developed Mumbai. No, that is outside the scope because there is no new properties coming there. So new areas, built-up properties, and primarily 3 segments, which is residential, retail, and office. So the last year, low on office space absorption, as we all know, and retail, of course, there were a lot of challenges. A lot of developments are taking place worldwide. People trying to, retail biggies trying to get into this area, but at the same time, there is not much progress in this area. Yes, residential, just like always, and due to the peculiar situation that our country is in, population pressure, the demand for residential in the long term will always stay, we know that. But in 2012, demand for residential in upcoming areas were pretty steady. In spite of that, there were unsold inventories because of miscalculation in several pockets. Developers were saddled with some unsold inventories also. Okay, now year 2013. Now 13 has started with a positive note. Yes, we can already see, although we are, as a country, we are at the back end of the economic slowdown which happened all over the world. US has seen that, Europe has seen that, the effect of those economic slowdown. We actually experienced that slowdown last year, towards the latter part of the last year, when we actually saw there was a slowdown in uptake of cars and heavy industries and all those other sectors also, as well as real estate ultimately. But going forward, we see a lot of developments happening. America is consolidating, and the ripple effect is actually going to come towards end of 2013. That's what I feel. And stock markets are already showing upward trends. So therefore, I assume that 2013 is going to be a good year for all of us. Price line varying from 5,000 and 10,000, likely to see spurt in supply. Now, there's a unique phenomenon here because of the land prices being high in several areas. The developers have a tendency to get into these luxury segment markets. Luxury segment markets is such a market. Yes, it has offtake. Yes, it has demand. but then it is not investor driven, it is primarily based on actual user demand. So actual user demand, wherever it is affected. What I want to tell you is that the prices below 4,000 square feet is the segment that we should be looking at, because that is exactly where investor is looking at as well as the actual user is looking at. So these areas for long-term investment cities, ideal option would be Pune, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Noida and Gurgaon as quality projects in lesser price range are available and anticipated to have good return on investment in long run. As per industry report, the NCR region like Dwarka Expressway, New Gurgaon, Manesar, Noida Extension, Noida Expressway have huge potential for investors as well as end users, will bring more opportunities further in 2000. This is the broad synopsis of 2013 that I see. Now, what we mean, our presentation says we have to divide this pricing or price trends in three areas, which is tier 1 cities, tier 2 and tier 3. So I'm just giving you some examples according to our classification, what we have captured. We have captured these areas. Now Noida, Gurgaon, although they are listed separately from Delhi, I think they deserve to be called as separate tier 1 cities now, looking at the population and other criteria. They have they have established themselves as separate cities, so we can actually talk about them separately as tier 1 cities. So Delhi, Noida, Gurgaon, Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai and Hyderabad. These are the tier 1 cities that we are looking at. So what are the highlights? Gurgaon, yes, Gurgaon continue to show robust growth, pricing between 4,500 and 10,000. Tier 1, Noida is, of course, it is looking upward. Noida extension moved 3,000 plus, expressway moved 4,200 plus. These are the broad trends, yes, that is right. But if you look at other cities, if you forget NCR for the time being, if you look at other tier 1 cities, so you don't see much growth in those cities in terms of pricing because of the demand and supply equations and lack of investor push, let's say. So cities like Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad continue to show steady in this context, I should say stagnant. Steady doesn't mean steady upwards, but steady means stagnant here. So I would rather call it stagnant. So Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, stagnant. Cities like Mumbai, prime area, of course, we have, just like I said earlier, we are excluding prime areas from here where demand and supply equations are absolutely different. We are concentrating ourselves to new Mumbai areas, which is quite akin to a peripheral area of NCR, and where the supplies are abundant, and therefore they are looking at steady demand and steady supply, and in terms of pricing or in terms of prices, it is stagnant. This is the graph which looks like in terms of cities like, let's say, just like I said, Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, looks something like Whitefield, Bangalore. Yes, it has turfs and it has highs and lows, but overall trend, the long-term trend, if you see, it is like more or less flat. Getting to Gurgaon, yes, there is movement, and Gurgaon, Noida. Even if you look at all India perspective, I think these two areas definitely are focus areas for a lot of investor, and according to statistics, these are the area where a lot of influx is happening of population, and which is the trends are that it is likely to remain, and because of a very different reasons. Noida because of its infrastructure, and Gurgaon because of proximity to airport and other things. So I feel these Gurgaon and Noida are going to, the graph is going to remain somewhat like this, which is shown here. Coming to tier 2 cities, Ahmedabad, Chandigarh, Pune, Indore, Lucknow, Faridabad. Faridabad also, you may wonder, why I have captured Faridabad here. Faridabad in itself. Peripheral areas of NCR, or let's say sub-cities of NCR, they have in the long term established themselves as separate cities all by themselves. So Faridabad, Jaipur, Bhopal. So these are a sampler of tier 2 cities. So what is happening in tier 2 cities? Ahmedabad, except for Ahmedabad, I'll take it separately. Ahmedabad has come up as a most upcoming destination in view of, whatever industrialization is taking place there. A lot of car plants are moving there, and because of general push which the political establishment which is giving to Gujarat. So Ahmedabad has come up as a very good destination. But in spite of that, the pricing has already moved up, but from here onward it is going to remain stable in this range only. Other cities of tier 2 categories, they are showing steady trends, but depending on the quality and the products, the range is 3,000 to 3,500, and then there's another range of different quality products, or quality and location, both criteria is taking into account. So it is in the range of 22 to 2,500 for different category of products. So this is the broad category of prices which we have identified has emerged as a long term, not long term, actually in a short and medium term, which is 2013-14 trends. This is what we have identified in tier 2 cities. If you look at graphs, I think they would look something like this. Ahmedabad more or less flat, although it has risen already, but going forward it is going to remain like this. But before closing tier 2 city discussion, I would like to appraise you that one thing which both actual user and investors have identified over this period is there is a conscious look at the quality of the products which are being offered, and wherever there are quality products which are being offered, people are willing to give an edge to them over the other regular products. Well, it may be that investors may look at cheaper products to invest in, but as far as actual user, and now in turn investors have always also realized that in terms of when they want to get out of the investment, it is always better that they should look at quality. Recently I had a chance to go to Indore, for example. Indore, there are all kinds of group housings available, but there is one Silver City which we identified. It is very darling of people there who want to invest and also live there. So in longer term, whatever is darling of actual user becomes a darling of investors, and investors are now realizing that it is not the price, it is not the entry price which matters. It is actually the end price which is going to give them better returns. So there is an edge in the quality. People are looking at it, and people are seriously looking at project from quality perspective. This is the change I have seen. So if the regular project is selling for, let's say, 2,500, people don't mind paying 500 or maybe 700 to 800 also for better quality of projects. Coming to tier 3 city discussion, here is a sampler of the cities which we have captured: Bhubaneswar, Ludhiana, Nagpur, Surat, Vadodara, Vijayawada, Kochi, Mysore. So these are the sampler. And tier 3 cities, now they have also a certain peculiarity in terms of built up properties. Tier 3 cities do not see much built up properties, and the reason is the psychology of the actual user as well as investor in those areas is still very, very land oriented, and they do not fancy built up properties too much because of the reason that they have to maintain those properties if they don't want to live in. They would rather go for plotted development. So there are very few developments, except there are some cities, of course, like Mysore and Kochi have seen a lot of development in built up properties there. So there the culture is coming. But on a longer term perspective, yes, the culture is going to come because land is going to be in short supply. Therefore, people will prefer living in these areas. Such projects, built up projects. But as of now, the psychology is slowly changing. So in a near future, I think very few built up properties in these areas. So just like because land issues are essentially local issues, so therefore local developers are active in these areas, which we have observed, and prices have shown a steady trend. Steady means rather stagnant in this. I think the vocabulary used is a little wrong. It should be stagnant. And the graph looks something like this. It's a very flat graph of prices as far as short-term going to 2013-14 horizon is concerned. So, focus once again, I would like you to have a look at Delhi NCR region trend in 2013. According to us, Noida, Gurgaon is definitely going to see consolidation of demand and upward prices, especially in the areas like you have Noida Expressway and Dwarka Expressway. These are the areas which are going to be darling of investors as well as actual users. Therefore, prices are going to get further firmed up in these areas. That's what I look at. And yes, there are satellite towns also, Bhiwadi, etc. Well, they will see good growth, but not as much as Gurgaon and Noida is concerned. So, what the price trends here in these areas, what it has done, it has actually done because of these areas being attracting investors as well as actual users. So what is happening is a lot of MNCs are coming here, they are establishing their businesses here, and because of good infrastructure which is prevalent, let's say in Noida Expressway and in Gurgaon area, and the business opportunities and also the employment opportunities. So it is, the demand and supply is actually catching each other in these areas, and we see a lot of activity in these areas for time to come. So I think this is what I've just reiterated. The Noida Expressway is going to witness a boom in office space and commercial property. Well, there are some estimates that people are actually looking at growth of 100% upwards in these areas, because land essentially is a short supply in these areas, and these areas are actually growing very fast. But beside whatever we say, the baseline calculation or the baseline prices for attracting customers, now I'm telling you from developer's point of view, what attracts customer the most? Customer is attracted the most because of the sheer numbers present in this segment. 3,000 to 4,000 is the figure that people look at. So I think going forward, what is going to happen is that that the developers are going to shift from maybe downtown Gurgaon to, let's say, towards Sona or towards Manesar to give people this kind of pricing. And similarly, Noida, rather than expressway, developers are going to focus in the future in the belt like Noida Extension to give people this kind of affordability. So this is the price to look at from both perspective, from developers as well as users. So according to analysts, the demand for residential property is expected to witness double-digit growth by 2040. This is beside, whatever we have discussed. We all know that because of the pressures, because of demographic pressure in India, the demand is going to remain high as far as residential is concerned. Of course, the areas to be observed is, of course, Dwarka Expressway and Noida Extension. Noida Expressway, these are the areas to look at from investor angle. Retail sector, coming to retail sectors. Now retail is a very peculiar sector. 2012, 2013 has seen a lot of consolidation in this sector, which means a lot of very few projects have been able to establish themselves in the market. So therefore, for long-term sustenance, if you look at this prices, which is 50 to 70 rupees per square foot, in fact, as far as retail sector is concerned, I have captured prices in terms of rentals and not sale, because the mall model works more like rental model rather than selling model. And although it is not captured on the screen, I must share with you, going forward, in my opinion, for the success of retail sector, or for success of retail properties, I think the street shopping, which is the original Indian concept, because of the constraints here in terms of maintenance charges or higher maintenance charges in malls, I think street shopping should be a better area, which developers have realized, which users have also realized that this is probably something which can work wonders in Indian context. So giving 50 to 70 rupees in mall context is very difficult, but if somebody can do it, it can show a result, which means the long-term prices are going to remain in this category. If we go above this, the project is going to suffer. Just close it. So business spaces, similar to retail, world economy, it is very world economy related. Why? Because most of the business spaces are directly linked to the outsourced services which US and other countries utilize in Indian context. So supply is already ample, supply is going to remain, but the price overall trend is going to remain within 50 and 60 rupees. Similarly, tier 2 and 3, the preferred price range for offices is going to be between 20 and 40 only. So these are the trends going forward for tier 1, 2, 3 business spaces. Now, just consolidating the discussion, projects in affordable range are going to be darling of investors as well as in turn developers. So this is, of course, this has lot of challenges, and if somebody is going to accept this challenge and meet this challenge, I think they can do much better than the others, other than luxury, etc. So this is the actually final line I would like to tell you. And second is, one is affordable and second is quality. Whoever is giving quality, quality will have edge by itself and it will always command better prices than the others. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening patiently. I appreciate it. Thank you.